and listening to former Commissioner Senator Rick Price's questions, I'd like to see them answered. And that would include public hearings. And perhaps hiring an outside pension consultant to answer some of the questions that we've got.
Well, talk about competing with other cities. One city is like 35, with a 10.62% payroll tax.
Well, anticipating you might ask that question, or someone might ask it, I have answers for those. And specifically talking about the questions about hearings.
Let me tell you, I didn't pay any attention to what the senator said.
Well, then he raised some questions, and Peter raised a valid point, is he would like to have an answer, especially about the public hearings. And question number 2, will the board vote to implement a defined benefit? 2, that's close to 6 or 7. Will the board vote to implement a defined benefit retirement plan without a series of public meetings once the board has made a decision to implement a defined benefit plan? The board takes its fiduciary responsibility very seriously and therefore has spent considerable time reviewing the analysis and recommendations regarding the current retirement plan in order to make an informed decision. Lengthy discussions during public meetings have been held on this matter since June 2007 in both public committee meetings and regularly scheduled Board of Commissioner meetings. With these meetings and numerous articles in the media, we believe the public has had many opportunities to express their voice on this issue. That is why the board did not pursue Commissioner Pfeiffer's request that public hearings be held on this matter. Incidentally, no public hearings were held in 1995 when the Board of Commissioners decided to change the retirement plan, which resulted in a 100% increase in the taxpayer's financial commitment to the employee's retirement. A change, if made by this board, would not increase the financial commitment of the taxpayers beyond what presently exists. The presently existing financial commitment was established by prior boards at their own discretion. That's why. We've already had significant public meetings, public input, and Board of Commissioner meetings. I personally don't know that any more meetings are going to change the decision that needs to be made or provide any different input that would give us a basis to make a different decision. Wrestled with this issue now for at least 6 months. I think it's time that we make a decision that we move in one direction or another.
And if Mr. Price wanted to answer those questions, he could come in here and he could sit in every one of these meetings with us. Because every one of those questions that he has have been addressed and answered by either the study committee or during the course of this. And he asked specifically about Henry County. I remember the answer to the Henry County question. We're not setting up one that's got unfunded liabilities. I won't vote for one that's got unfunded liabilities. What's the difference? What is their difference? The way that they structured it is they gave everybody full retirement when they adopted the plan. No matter how long you've been there.
We're not saying that one they got to check the ground for.
Well, I don't know about that. There have been answers to every one of those questions, and I haven't read that sheet, but there was answer to every one of those. The 10 questions.
Well, I don't read it either. I don't know what there.
We're not voting on a plan that has any specifics, so you can't even say that we're doing it differently than Henry County because you don't have a plan.
Well, the proposal is one that comes with no unfunded liabilities. What's interesting is Steve comes here, and I don't know what his fee would be, or somebody similar to his fee. $50,000 was been quoted to me, and yet Mr. Price comes in and he says we don't even have a professional. Well, that's certainly not true. It's not true at all. We have this man and his corporation that donated that kind of service to us. So what we've got today is 5.2 and 2%. We know what the plan is going to look like, basically. So some of that criticism was merely just lobbing bombs to get in the middle of what this board is trying to accomplish, and that's solely it. And I'll tell you, I run into people in grocery stores and football games just like you do in church. On 2 occasions, somebody's come and said you shouldn't do the plan. And I talked to them, one person at a grocery store for over an hour, and another person at a football field. But other than that, that's the only criticism I've had somebody contact me. And I'll tell you, you know it as a commissioner that from time to time, for example, the noise ordinance, when people are excited about something, they call you and they talk to you. And I got more comments about the noise ordinance than I have about this defined benefits plan. I don't know, maybe your experience is different, but I've not heard this big outcry by the public. I think the newspapers have done a real good job disseminating the information as we go through this. I remember when they announced who was on the committee. I remember Scott's name being in the paper. And people could have come in this room, like they have, interested folks. They have the ability. The door's open. The door's open to the big room. I just don't see that it's something that, other than folks that have a financial interest in that. I'm talking about outside folks. You know, Mr. Price, I just want to have some say in a county commission that he's no longer on. I don't have.
Or a taxpayer wanting to have some say in what we're putting him on the hook for.
We were more than happy to listen to him, and he could come in these meetings as well. Just like Commissioner Scott.
Well, one of the differences between something that's open-ended and something that exists, using the noise ordinance for an example, is people often don't comment on something unless there's something concrete for them to comment on. And there hasn't been. And there still isn't going to be in this case.